do you ever have days? I know my kids have this kind of day, but as an adult, I haven't had this kind of day in a long time where I feel like my clothes are strangling me.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
ever feel like that? And I had
Yes.
to change, or rather put on a blanket. I'm not wearing anything except a shirt.
I do with that.
My
I
clothes
do
are
with that
strangling
often.
me. I just
Usually
say,
it's like
even the shirt is
jeans.
strangling.
Yeah, you
What?
just feel like suffocated.
I
Mine
felt
lately,
suffocated.
yeah. Mine have been like jean shorts or jeans lately. They're just so snug around my stomach because I gained like 5 pounds and I'm at the gym way
Me
more.
too. Me
Yeah.
too.
And I don't mind it. It's just I don't like
Yeah.
the way I
It's the stomach.
necessarily, yeah, it goes right there. It doesn't go to where I want it to go or
No,
here or here.
it
It
goes to
goes
my stomach and my
right.
arm.
Yeah,
And it goes to my
exactly.
face a little bit too, which I'm okay with it going to my face because you don't want to be too, the older you get, you
Right.
don't want to be too
Plump.
gaunt. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
okay with the face stuff, but like then my arms and my
Yep.
stomach, and it
Yeah.
feels, and then
I hate
on
it.
TV the other day. So okay, so on television they have, we have like a chair like this that
Hmm.
faces the screen straight on, and then
Right.
we have the couch over here, and the seat next to the chair facing this way is fine. You look good.
Right.
The next seat over, you look like three of you. So I don't sit in that seat often because usually that's for guests.
Right.
When
Right.
seats are for
Right.
the guests, who's ever sitting in the second seat, watch out. But like I have to sit in the second seat when we do something together and have one guest and we're interviewing them
Hmm.
together.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in that seat and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah. I don't
enormous.
like it either. I don't like
Ginormous.
I can't. I can't. It makes me like feel wider and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
not
was
a
like,
big fan.
note to self, I can never wear a sleeveless outfit again if I'm ever
I
going to
know.
sit in that seat. That's why I have these. I love that puffy sleeves are in right now because that can
Puffy
just be
sleeves and shoulder pads to make them even
shoulder
more
pads,
round.
and like I like the sort of like the ones that go like this. I don't know what
Hmm.
that's called.
Yeah.
What is it
I
called?
the pads that kind of go up like that.
They're not shoulder pads. They're almost just like just
It's like a zoot suit almost.
yeah, almost like like the characters in Hunger Games.
Hmm.
Those like
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
Anyhow, I
peek
like that.
out just a little bit.
Yeah, they pop out. Yes.
Yeah. I've been
So
going to the gym more and more, which I love, by the way. I forget how
good.
much I really, really, really love going to the
You feel
gym.
good after.
Oh
Yes.
my God. It's fabulous. It makes my day so much better, especially if I'm stressing out. Like I called you the other day, like very stressed out about something. Actually, it was like
Mm-hmm.
four things. And
Yep.
then I just knew I had to go to the gym and I left and I just felt so much better about it. But yeah, so muffin top season is here.
But I've told you this before. I lose weight in the winter and I gain weight in the summertime.
Yeah,
Never
that's
fails.
weird.
Yeah.
Mine's the opposite.
Most people are opposite.
Yeah.
I think we should do sometime a segment. I think we should talk. Maybe we can do it today if we have time, if we want to. But things that make you feel good after you do them, like to get
Yeah.
it, like things that right. Like for instance, if I need a quick break, it's like, all right, let me check my Instagram. Okay, dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Like
Hmm.
that's like a quick fix. But then you
It's
don't.
relaxing.
It lifts you up, but then it does nothing to you once you put that phone down. There's nothing that you take with you. But
I
like,
enjoy shopping.
yes,
Shopping
that
for
too.
something. Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
something that makes me feel a little bit better. And extra bonuses if I put it on and it looks good, which is rare because I shop online a lot and like 80% of the stuff I order, if not more, goes
yeah,
back because it's not fitting right or it's like these super small sizes or something like that that's shipped over
yeah,
here. But yeah, but if it fits too, then yes, then I'm good. Then it's like, oh, I have something new to
yeah.
wear or something like that. Yeah.
I have a gift card for Nordstrom, and I'm going to go real, actual in-person shopping. And I can't even remember the last time I did that for me.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been in-person shopping for other people, but because I order everything online too, so it's going
Same.
to be weird to be like, okay, how does this fit? Do I,
Hmm.
you know? So,
Okay.
but with
Do
some of
you
the other
mind
things,
shopping with somebody else or can you
oh, I hate it.
shop? I
I
hate it
hate it.
too. I can't stand it. I mean, I like lunching but I'm not
Yes.
really shopping. You know what I mean?
Okay. The confession, and maybe this is why I don't fit in. We're banned from the mom group, but I always envy those girls because you end up doing this if you're on a girls trip or just, I
Yep.
mean, my entire life, I'm with girls who are shopping
Yeah.
And like, we go to lunch and then we're like, oh, let's go check out the shops. And then we go. And then I feel like I don't fit in because all my friends are so good at, oh, this would look good on you. Oh, you should, and oh, look at this. And then so I try to do it to them and I'm like, oh, this would be great on you. But I don't, not that I don't think it would look good on them,
Do
but
they
I just
go,
think my taste
no.
sucks. Yeah, my taste is no good. So I'm just like, do you like it or do I have terrible taste? I just don't fit in that thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
sitting
No, I
around
get it.
drinking, telling stories. I'm in.
We're good.
But
Nailed
yeah,
it.
we're good.
Perfect at that. Yeah. I don't like shopping with other people either. I mean, I like
Look at the
it
phony.
for like a little bit. I'm not actually going to buy anything though.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not with you.
exactly.
Not with anybody else.
No, right. It's you have to put on a different brain to have make different decisions.
Uh-huh.
If
Yeah.
you're in a decision making,
100%.
I'm going to shop for myself. You cannot have anyone with you, especially not a spouse, especially not, not friends. It doesn't really work for me that well. And definitely not kids. By the way, I look better like this. I just realized maybe I do need to.
There's a
I like this. I was like, I think I look good like that. Yeah.
There's a TikToker that just got her. I forget what it's called. Starts with a B. Blasphemy or something kind of plastic surgery where her eyelids were hanging low and she didn't have much of like an eyelid, and she got this cut and then this lifted up a little bit more, and it looked really good on her. And she was getting so much hate online, and I was like, she wants to have eyelids. Yeah. Can I just walk around like just like this all day long? Yeah. This isn't weird, is it? That's not strange. I have tape to go on my face. Yeah, so what else makes you happy?
But we're not talking about the immediate fix that doesn't go anywhere. Like phone makes you happy in the moment, and then poof, just as soon as you set it down, that happiness goes away.
Yeah.
Same with eating. Like in the moment, eating does, but then afterwards, not only does it go away, but sometimes you might feel worse if you eat like I do. Right. Then drinking, of course, is the same way. But then when you think about it, taking a walk outside. Yeah. Like I had a really lazy day on Sunday, didn't do anything. And then Doug's like, hey, you want to take a walk with me? It was 7:00 at night. I go, we went for a walk with the family. I was like, you just made my Sunday worth it just by taking that walk. And that good feeling carried me up all the way up until bedtime. So that's one. Yoga is one.
Yep.
Going to a comedy show is another, because the laughter.
Concerts.
Yes. Good one.
That's a big one in my household.
Happiness buzz. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a big one for me. And then again, I mentioned it, but like working out just in general.
Working out.
It gives me like a lift for the rest of the day. And then if I continue obviously doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks, I start seeing my body change a little bit. And that also makes me feel good as well.
Yes. Things that sometimes you need more of a commitment to really reap the rewards.
Yeah.
Right? Church. I feel good after.
Church
I feel the same about church.
Me too.
We don't go as often as we should.
No, I get made fun of because we're like Easter Christmas people, and it's more than that. But
it's having the little kids. It's having the little kids that makes it. So
yeah. And I try to bring little things for them. I know. I try to bring like this and that little stuff. So, and I want to work on like communion eventually with the girls. That way they can get to that level as well.
Yeah.
But that also comes with like Sunday school, which I called our church about, I think like a few days ago, just to see when it started and all of that. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard going to church with little ones, and people do it every week. And I'm like, I don't know how you do that. That's a lot. Good for you.
Yes.
I don't know it's for me, but it's good for you.
At our church, they have a good little program where you can send them and they can go have Bible study with just the kids, which is great. It's just getting them there on a Sunday morning. The one morning that you don't have to get into the,
yeah, it's tough for sure. Yeah, definitely. I can't believe it.
So you want to hear the story, the crazy story?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sitting at my desk and my phone just it gets a little voicemail thing. So you click on it and you can read what's the voice that's speaking to you. Yeah. So I read this and it's like, Roxanne, this is your father-in-law. Doug has been in a car accident. He broke his nose and the law enforcement called to me and he hit a pregnant woman. So this is all coming through my phone. So I pick up the phone. I'm freaking out. I was at work. I start like flopping around like a fish at work because I'm like, our life is
freaking out,
like just like that in the blink of an eye, like, oh my God, So as it turned, while I'm talking to him, because I answered while he was leaving the voicemail, while I'm talking to him, I text Doug, call me.
Your husband?
Yes, my husband. And he called me and he was fine and there was no car accident. So it was a total scam. So I'm trying to imagine what the end game was. I'm guessing it was to maybe say, hey, he's in jail for hitting this woman. Oh, that's another thing they said. They said he ran a red light. So they said, oh, he's in jail. Or, maybe they're going to say, well, give us money and we'll get him out of jail.
Yeah, it could be that a bail man, bail bondsman or something like that. I don't know. I've never heard of anything like this actually happening. There are a lot of different scams that are going on here.
Yeah.
Not only all over the country, but specifically in the state of Florida and Tampa. I know one is the tolls, QR
I get that every day.
codes. Yeah. Yeah. QR scams are one, cruises, a bunch of different stuff. But yeah, I've never heard of, the FBI, the police department will call you and say that they got a ticket. I've never heard of somebody like coming up with that big story.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like it's somebody playing maybe you might know that's playing a prank on you, and then it went way too far.
I've heard of this thing before. Okay, so what I gather, it was chaos yesterday talking to him. What I gather is the law enforcement person called him and then handed the phone to Doug, my husband, and he sounded shook up, and so they fake it. And I don't think it was someone they know. I've heard of this before where they do a similar thing where they'll call a parent and say, we have your son for ransom.
Yes,
do you want to talk to him?
That.
And then they put him on the phone, and the parent is so frazzled that they think it sounds like their son, even because they're like begging that he's still alive. Okay, let me just hear his voice. So it's like you trick your brain into saying that's his voice. So anyhow, I don't know what the end game is, but people
that'll ruin your day.
Yeah, creepy as all get out.
Yeah, I can't believe that happened to you. I feel so bad that you had to deal with something like that, because that is, I mean, yeah, you were right. Like, it's just life-changing to have to deal with something like that,
It's funny because I was saying the other day, I was like, things are really calm right now. Knock on wood, knock on wood.
Right.
In my life, at least, I have some of the angst that I dealt with in previous recent time periods out of my life. And so it feels pretty peaceful. And it's almost like I'm waiting for that shoe to, like, I'm just don't know how to relax and enjoy the peace.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially after a situation like that. It just brings you back to like different moments and stuff. So I was going to ask you something. So what did Doug say?
He was just like, people are jerks. People are saying, he's like, no, I'm fine. It didn't happen to him. I mean, he feels for me and his dad, but it didn't happen to him. It was just,
Did he think you were lying at first?
No.
Like, what are you talking about?
No, but he was like, what? He's like, what? He had to process it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm happy he's okay. I'm happy nobody got hit like with the car or anything like that.
You had a real life situation with that.
Yeah. So when, I heard a little bit of the story, I was like, oh my God, is he okay? Like broken nose.
I know, because you just went through that.
I did. So I was like, a little bit of PTSD. Yeah. So yeah, when I heard about that, so I'm happy nothing really, bad happened. But yeah, that's so crazy that people are so ridiculous. And what is the end game there? What you have to, because I guess with some of those, it's like, okay, the IRS one, that's another one. It's like, we need payment now. So I guess they were trying to get to that last moment, get you so frazzled and upset that you would just be willing to pay anything, obviously, in this situation. So yeah, I can't believe you dealt with that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that scam before. I've never heard of that one specifically.
It was brutal.
I feel like you should go. Do you know anybody that works in the news? Maybe they could do like a story on it.
I know. It was an out of state thing.
It was. So it was a weird number. It was like a scammer number.
Well, it was. Doug's father lives out of state, so it happened in his state.
Happened in his state. Okay. All right. So the number that called you though.
I don't know.
Okay. Because it was just leaving you a voicemail. So maybe they.
No. He called me. What happened? I was in where I work. I'm guessing the phone didn't ring. It was just bad service. So it just went straight to voicemail and started.
So, but there's a way for you to call people where it just goes straight to voicemail. so it doesn't specifically ring. You enter in like a star something something, and it will just because I've done it before. And you will just go straight to that voicemail. It's like in case you don't want to talk to the person, but you have to leave them a message, like a sensitive message or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of employers and stuff like that will use it. That's the only reason I used it before.
Right.
But yeah, that's so strange. Well, I'm happy he's okay.
Right?
I'm sure Doug was like, "What are you talking about?"
It's crazy. Crazy.
I'm fine. Thank you very much. Yeah.
He was shocked. Yeah.
So this past weekend, you said your two daughters, they got baptized?
They did. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's really cool. That's a long set. Did you have a party or anything afterwards?
No, we didn't. We just kept it, the four of us, and I think my family's upset with us, but it was no.
Really?
Wow. We did it last minute, and I did so many things with my family this weekend. I was like, they don't want to have to wake up early and go to this, and then, it's so quick. But we wanted the girls, like, important for them to know.
Of course, yeah.
Because we signed up last minute, I didn't want to then show up with, because it was a group of people, a bunch of people got baptized.
Yeah, they do it all together.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do as well. Both of mine are. And so I think the next step is going to be communion, but I think you have to be a certain age for that. I'm not quite sure. I think it's like 10 or something.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. So do you remember going to Sunday school?
I do. And you know what? I have to say, whatever religion makes someone happy, that's great. So I'm not judging, but I do have to say, my kids are believers. They are into it, and they are being raised Methodist.
Okay.
So I was raised Episcopalian with it, which is like Catholic. And so they're going to Methodist. And I have to say that when I was going through all that stuff as a kid, it felt very formal to me.
It is.
And it felt very right, because it's very close to Catholic. Episcopalian is very close to Catholic. And great lessons to learn, but it felt like school.
Forced.
Right. And I think with the girls, they make it, even as an adult, sitting and hearing our pastor talk, I love her messages. I love them.
That's great.
I'm really into, and I think that's what the most important thing is. You find a place where you're getting something from it. Again, not to say that I was, every denomination is great, but it's whatever you feel like is speaking to you. So
I like that there's a backup plan, in case something happens or whatever. That
you mean death after death?
Yeah, and it's comforting. It's comforting. It makes me feel good, and I feel like if anybody has questions, it's always good to kind of like revert to that a little bit as well. Or if you're questioning something, going through a tough time, and if I'm not here one day or something like that will be somewhat comforting, because we will eventually meet again and all that. So I really feel like that's one of the reasons I want to instill that in them. So I'm not as good as you though with it. I need to be better about it.
I feel like my kids are better than me. I just feel like they're, especially Daviana, it speaks to her, and she's the one reminding everybody to say prayers at dinner.
I love that.
She's like, Jesus is watching you, kind of Jesus, Santa Claus. They're both watching. They're both watching.
Of course.
And so but I feel like with when I was growing up, it was just more formal. And with this, it's more emotional. And I feel like it is spiritual. It's emotional. So, I know what I was going to say. One of my girlfriends, who's about 10, 12 years older than me, she says she has these couple of regrets in her life. And one of her regrets is not instilling religion in her kids as much as she feels she should have. Because she says she looks at other kids that are her kids' age, and they have such composure, peace. And that's what I was telling my daughter, who obviously, is very temperamental. I was like, do you feel how good everyone felt in there? And peace. I mean, like, that's what whenever people say they pray for peace, that's what we're searching for, that contentment inside.
Yeah. You can bring other people that same, but also, inside, and you can relax a little bit. Yeah. So that's what I need to do better. Cause we pray before dinner, and then I need to do like before bedtime. And then I don't know about going to church every Sunday, but we're working on it.
It's hard. And I told you, right? I told you what else I do with the kids is I think of things that are like Jesus would do, generosity and
charity,
love and kindness. And then I'm like, he put all this stuff in your heart. These are your powers, these things that you can, from him. So give me examples when you were like Jesus and you did this. So we talk about things like that.
That's good.
Rather than the formality. Yeah. But I mean, having said that, Doug and I, are not perfect parents, to say the least.
Pretty much that's what this is all about. We're just doing our best every single day. Can you imagine growing up without siblings at all? Because
I've been having this conversation lately with people because one of my girlfriends who doesn't have kids, or who doesn't have two kids, just has one. And I said, listen, every time you question your decision or the way it's worked out that you only have one, are you hurting your child by not having another sibling for them? I go, don't question it, because I have the same questions. Are my children a bad influence on one another?
On each other.
Is there fighting sister dynamic? Is that disruptive to each of their development?
It could be. I think that the answer is we literally don't know. So I found this clip, another one. I found this on TikTok.
I love your clips.
Thank you. If you just want to watch a couple seconds, and then we'll just talk about it.
Okay, let's do it.
I think that this will work. So let's go.
Listen, if you want to only have one kid, do it. It's fantastic. Now, in reality, have as many kids as you want. Have 0 kids. That's great too. Do whatever you want to do. But I've been seeing people lately wondering, like, I have a kid. Given the state of the world, I don't think I want to have another one. Or like they just like their one kid and they're cool. And they're like, but what if they don't have a sibling? Like they feel this guilt from like society and like pressure to have more kids to give their kid a sibling. And I get it. I totally get it. Because we only have one kid and she's 7 now. Now it's a little bit by choice and a little bit by my baby box broke after I had her. So we only have the one and she's 7 now. And it is fantastic. Like I went to go book some flights. We're a little family of 3 row. And there have been just so many moments having the one kid where I thought she needs a sibling. She needs a friend. Like I'm going to be her only source of entertainment. Let me tell you something now that she's 7. I love being her only source of entertainment. We gab.
So that's sweet. I love that she's so happy with her situation.
She's happy with her decision because you always think twice about stuff. Like, did you make the right decision, especially as they get older, all that stuff. So I wanted to know your opinion about that.
Yeah. I'm super happy we have girls because I would hate having boys.
Yeah, I don't know how I would handle it.
I wanted it. But yeah, we would have dealt with it. But it's funny because I always wanted a boy, and now I'm like, it worked out just perfectly because I don't know that I would have the energy to have a boy. I really don't. They require
jumping off the top end, like people's elbow right off the couch. Yeah. My girls jump off the couch to this day, so I think
I know ours too. But I love that. I love her attitude, and I do think I see other single parents. Parents of one child really trying to socially push their kid, but I don't even think you need to be, because you will give your child social stuff and they'll get all the rest that they need in school. They're fine. What do you think?
So I have a brother, but he's severely autistic and he's living with my dad up in Charlotte. So they got divorced when I was 3 years old. So I was basically raised as an only child. That being said, I live with my mom, and then Alex, my brother, lived with my dad. So my dad would take me on the weekends and stuff like that, and he was always involved in my life. But like the majority of the time, I was with my mom. And so
I didn't realize that. I knew that you had a brother, that your brother had autism, but I didn't realize that you guys weren't really raised in the same household on a regular basis.
Nope, it was just on weekends, maybe some holidays, and then one summer I went to live with him for an extended period of time, I believe, up in Jacksonville, and this, so it just goes on and on. But I didn't ever live with him for longer than that. But because of that kind of like back and forth, I always longed for a sibling, somebody to grow up with, and even just talk to. And so I'm on the other side here when it comes to this question or topic of conversation as somebody, and I will put myself in that box, that was raised as an only child. Yeah. I 100% wish that I had like a sibling that I could talk to, play with, was raised with. So whenever I knew I was ready to have a family, make a family, all that stuff, and try for a family, I was dead set. I never, ever, ever, unless I couldn't, or, there were certain circumstances. Other than that, absolutely not for me. I didn't want just one. I know that that's wonderful for a lot of people, for her, that on the clip, on the TikToker and all that stuff. But yeah, I didn't want that. I just felt very lonely a lot of the times. And so I see my two little girls, and even though they bicker every now and then, and just like everybody else, but I didn't even have that.
Right. I mean, the bickering is kind of like they're still they don't have a loneliness. They're always going to have that person, right?
And I always think about when they get older, okay, they're going to be 16, 17, 18, and then they're out in the world alone. But what happens with us when we get older, and then they need somebody to talk to, or they're going through like a big issue in their life or something like that, or we're no longer around or anything like that. So I just was, I'm happy with the decision with the 2. I could have seen myself potentially having 3, but yeah, I never wanted that. That's just because of my own personal experience. I never wanted to just have one kid, although I see how beneficial it is, because I have neighbors and friends with one, and I'm like, dang, that seems like so much easier.
The kids assimilate into the parental life. They know when they have to just entertain themselves. You know what, though, I have to say about you, so hopefully maybe this will help. I feel like kids who, even if you have a brother and you don't have a sister, I feel like those girls end up being really great friends.
Yeah,
really
that's true.
Having really close girl friendships and being really great friends. Maybe even more so because they appreciate it so much more, and they're looking for it. They're searching for it. I also feel like you could have the same conversation if the pluses and minuses of having a boy and a girl.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I feel like they are possibly better in relationships when they're older, because they have more compassion and they've seen what it's like to, they just have more empathy for that opposite sex. Whereas I don't have empathy for the opposite sex. I grew up in a household of just girls, and I'm like, take care of me. That's your job. Like, I don't know what boy struggles you had to get to this point.
Right, exactly. No, I totally understand that. Or like if there's too much of an age gap between the kids, and that differs for everybody, because maybe there's an age gap but there's no issues or separation. But if there is a prolonged age gap, then maybe they're friends more when they're younger. But as soon as one is free to get out of the house, like there's no relationship anymore. So maybe at that point, once that older sibling leaves, and the younger one is raised as a little child, so they kind of.
They kind of get the best of both worlds, maybe.
Yeah. So, but I think, could you go for it? Like, if you found out you were pregnant right now, would you be scared? Or would you be like,
be scared of what Doug would. Doug is like, that's not happening.
That's pretty much my household too.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's what he says. But I mean, I would embrace it. But I know, like, realistically, that's not something I should even hope for, because probably at this point, I'm probably the new baby would miss out on a lot because of my age,
Yeah, so. Definitely. I was reading in the news today. It was, I don't know, some news story where, it was one of the, I think it was one of the singers for Boys to Men. He's been married for 20 years. Yeah. He just found out that him and his wife are pregnant. She's 42 and he's 67.
Okay. You know what I'm eyeing about, because I didn't know Boys to Men was that old.
I could be off here. Maybe it was a different group, but I think that was it. I'm pretty sure I was listening to the story intently, but I was like, that was, in my opinion, just hearing it lately, I was like, that doesn't sound like that was planned.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. That's some pushing Al Pacino stuff right there.
Right. And you're thinking, like,
his 80s.
20 years married. So you've had this conversation, which direction would it go in. But then, so anyway, I was like, I think that's a surprise, baby.
Yeah. That's the stork. Stork brought that one.
Definitely. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Well, I know you're busy. You have a bunch of stuff to do. I got to go. My daughter's home. I picked her up from school because she's so sick today.
Is she doing okay?
She's totally fine. She's downstairs. She's relaxing. Yeah, it was. She had she had a headache last night.
Yeah.
Gave her some Tylenol, all that. She was really kind of run down after the weekend, to be quite honest with you.
Right. That happens to my girls too.
Yeah, and then so in my opinion, she went to school still run down, and then she didn't eat very well. And so salty foods. She's worn out.
Oh, that happens. That happens. Yeah.
Oh yeah, happened to me, especially around that
Good
age. Like a couple of years from now, she's going to start like really getting headaches. Like I suffered from them personally, so I wouldn't be surprised with her.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, but last night, her laying in bed and me just kind of cuddling her and rubbing her head until she fell asleep. I was like, it was so nice. It was so nice. I loved it. I was like, come here. And
enjoy every second of that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is it. I'm experiencing one of the moments.
Right. One of the moments. Look at Aubrey and see how quickly she will be her age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Olivia will be her age.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Just like that. That's why I was like,
right.
Every now and then I'll look at Anthony and I'll be like, are you sure you don't want one more kid? And he'll just be like, stop asking me that.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're aging so quickly. And I just love those like little cute, like little moments. And it's not the best for her because she was not feeling well. But for me, I'm like, oh, you're just so
I know.
Let me put you to sleep. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's
I'm not going to put you in the category of having Munchausen's. How do you say that damn word? Munchausen's by proxy yet.
Yeah. Not yet. Check in with me in a year or two.